It was a foggy winter evening when everything changed for Sarah. She had always loved walking home from work through the old forest trail, the one that cut through the hills and saved her 20 minutes. It was peaceful, quiet, and she'd done it hundreds of times before. But that night, something about the air felt different. The fog was thick, almost unnatural, swallowing every sound. Even her footsteps seemed muffled, as if the forest was holding its breath, waiting. She pulled her coat tighter and kept walking, her phone flashlight cutting a narrow path of light through the mist. At first, she thought she heard footsteps behind her, soft, careful, matching her pace. She stopped. Silence. Her breath hung in the air, cold and white. She turned, scanning the fog, but saw nothing, just the pale glow of her light fading into gray. "It's just your imagination," she muttered and started walking again. But then, she heard it again. Crunch. Crunch. This time she was sure. Someone, or something, was following her. Her heart began to pound. She quickened her steps, trying not to look back, but the sound followed, growing closer, steadier, more deliberate. Her mind raced. Maybe it was just someone else taking the same path. She stopped suddenly and turned around, shining her light straight into the mist. For a moment, she saw it, the outline of a figure standing just far enough that she couldn't make out its face. Motionless, silent, watching. Her throat went dry. "Who's there?" she called out, her voice trembling. No answer. The shape didn't move, didn't flinch. It just stood there, barely visible, like a shadow caught between worlds. She blinked, and when she opened her eyes again, the figure was gone. Her body froze. Every instinct screamed at her to run, but her legs wouldn't move. Then, from somewhere deep in the fog, came a sound. Not footsteps this time, but whispering. Faint, almost like the wind, but too deliberate, too human. She couldn't make out the words, but she knew they were meant for her. The whispers grew louder, circling her, coming from every direction at once. "Stop it," she cried, spinning in place, her flashlight shaking. The whisper stopped. The silence that followed was worse. Suddenly, her phone flickered, light flashing, then dying. The darkness swallowed her whole. She could barely breathe. She turned and started to run, her boots pounding against the frozen ground, branches clawing at her coat. The fog seemed to close in tighter with every step, like the forest itself was trying to trap her. Her chest burned, her lungs ached, but she didn't stop. Then, out of nowhere, she stumbled on something. A fallen tree, she thought, and fell hard. When she looked up, she realized it wasn't a tree. It was a wooden sign half buried in dirt. She brushed the mud off with shaking hands and read the words carved into the rotting wood. "Do not enter after dark." Her heart dropped. She looked around and saw faint shapes. More signs. Broken fences, old warning boards, all swallowed by time. She had wandered into the abandoned part of the forest. Locals said people went missing here decades ago, back when a small village had burned down nearby. They said the fog never left after that. Sarah scrambled to her feet and turned around, desperate to find her way back, but the path was gone. No matter where she looked, all she saw was fog and darkness. Then she heard breathing, close, right behind her ear. Slow, steady, not her own. She froze, eyes wide, too afraid to turn around. "Why did you come back?" a voice whispered, soft and cold. She spun around, and for a brief moment she saw them. Pale faces emerging from the mist, dozens of them, their hollow eyes glowing faintly in the dark. Before she could scream, the fog swallowed everything again. When the sun rose the next morning, the fog had lifted. A hiker found Sarah's phone lying on the trail, flashlight still on, recording. The last thing on the video wasn't her face. It was a voice, faint and distant, whispering from the fog. "You shouldn't have come here.